Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into the harrowing experience of Benjamin Hall with his latest book, Saved. Published in 2023, Saved offers a raw and intense narrative of Hall's life-threatening experience caught in the crossfire while reporting on the war in Ukraine in March of 2022. It's a tale of resilience and the unprecedented effort to save one man's life amidst chaos and transport him to safety. Benjamin Hall brings authority and authenticity to this book as a former freelance war correspondent and journalist for Fox News. His bylines have graced top-tier media outlets like the New York Times, the BBC, and Agence France-Presse, lending credibility and depth to his story. This book is especially resonant for those who are keen on current events and the often untold stories behind the journalists who risk everything to report them. If you are a thrill seeker intrigued by real stories of survival and escape, or simply someone who wishes to understand more about the sacrifices made in pursuit of delivering the news, Saved is a must-read that offers perspective, suspense, and a testament to human perseverance. Join us as we explore the extraordinary journey of Benjamin Hall and the life-altering event that led to his powerful testimony. Saved, a war reporter's mission to make it home. Introduction. Turning the page on survival, the Benjamin Hall story. Imagine a world where stories unfold, not in front of the cozy glow of your TV, but amidst the thunder of bombs and the cries of the wounded. For Benjamin Hall, that was the reality. As a war correspondent, he had always been at the heart of conflict, capturing the grim truths of war for the world to see. But on that fateful day in March 2022, the news he was gathering in Kyiv became his own harrowing tale of survival. Caught in the cruel immediacy of war, Benjamin's life took a turn straight into a nightmare. His journey from there was nothing short of a miracle, a determined quest for life when every second threatened to be his last. This script delves into Benjamin's story, seeking the essence of human resilience in the darkest corners of humanity's conflicts. Join me as we explore the incredible strength and perseverance of one man whose every breath became a story of survival and hope. Part 1. The Lifeline in the Rubble. As Benjamin Hall's senses staggered back to life amidst the debris, his survival instinct kicked into a gear he didn't know he had. The first explosion that day sent a lethal dance of shrapnel and earth sky high, narrowly missing Benjamin and his team. But the second detonation sent fate crashing down unceremoniously upon them, engulfing their car in a whirlwind of destruction and despair. In the crushing silence that followed, Benjamin's mind floated in a void where time and space dissolved into nothingness. It took the illusion of his daughter's voice, a figment woven from his deepest reserves of love and pain, to pierce through the fog. Urged on by this auditory mirage, he started to claw his way out of the wreckage, inch by inch, towards what he hoped was salvation. The world outside the car's remains was bleak. His colleague Pierre lay wounded, the air thick with the stench of turmoil. Yet, it was Benjamin's painstaking determination to survive that painted a stark picture of humanity's refusal to surrender under even the most tragic circumstances. He dragged his body over the rough terrain, his injuries screaming against every movement. But driven by the instinct to live, to return to the embrace of his family, Benjamin soldiered on. As he called out with the last shards of his strength, a passing car became his saving grace, and the hands that pulled him from the abyss were his deliverance. At that moment, he clung to a singular, soothing thought. They had been rescued at last. Part 2. A glimmer of hope amidst desperation. As Benjamin Hall lay within the confines of an unknown place, his world reduced to hurried whispers and the sting of a needle, his mind raced with 1,000 fears. Fragmented scenes danced before his eyes, a testament to the tumultuous journey from the wreckage to an unidentifiable sanctuary. He murmured fragments of his identity, his profession, gripping onto them as lifelines, even as he feared falling into enemy grasp. The disarray that Benjamin found himself in was disturbed by moments of medical urgency under the nimble fingers of determined physicians, illuminated solely by headlamps cutting through the oppressive darkness. When he later awoke in surroundings that were sterile and foreign, his paranoia swelled, each kind face potentially masking an adversary's intent. Unbeknownst to Benjamin, the instant cease in communication from his team earlier that day had been the catalyst for a flurry of activity across continents. In a world away, Jen Griffin found herself at the helm of an unfolding crisis, seeking verification and means to handle a situation no one hoped would manifest. Benjamin hadn't pondered his own salvage plan before the violence of war engulfed him. War zone ingress had posed less of a challenge than his impending egress, now amplified by the perilous and choked pathways of departure that had ensnared refugees amidst ongoing hostilities. With government evacuations long completed and official abandonment pronounced, the solitary glimmers of hope rested in arranging an extraction that verged on miraculous. The delicate and intricate dance of Ben's extraction required not just one, but a chain of miracles, each as improbable as the other. Yet in the dense fog of war, there are those who navigate upheaval with expertise. Specialists for whom extraction is a craft, and Benjamin's case called for their utmost skill. Part 3. Against the Odds. Lying amid a tangle of medical tubes and stark white sheets, Benjamin Hall bore the scars of war, not just on his body, but deep within his psyche. With a leg lost and the other perilously hanging in the balance, his right hand mangled, and burns streaked across his flesh, each breath was a testament to his searing will to live. Yet the real battle had only just begun, the fight to transport his vulnerable frame across a gauntlet stretching to the Polish sanctuary. Fox News' Jen Griffin was orchestrating a rescue from afar, with a fervor matched only by the determination of those on the ground. Swift action and specialist intervention were essential. Through her contacts, she tapped into the expertise of an organization that stood as a beacon for the desperate, Save Our Allies. They were seasoned veterans of crisis, with extraction in the midst of chaos as their calling card. Enter Sea Spray, a moniker that disguised the caliber of an operative who could navigate war's random dance of peril with precise steps. Partnering with Dr. Rich Jadek, their combined experience in high-stakes operations was Benjamin's lifeline. With strategic thinking and sheer audacity, they made their way to his bedside in the persona of emergency medics on innocuous ambulances. Sea Spray and Dr. Jadek's journey was a delicate ballet through the maelstrom, slow, steady, and unassuming. To anyone watching, they were but humble medics, blending into the tapestry of urgency that war weaves. The approach was non-confrontational, their right to pass unchallenged. And under this guise, they reached Benjamin, laying the foundation for a meticulous extraction that would push the boundaries of possibility. There, in the dim light of a hospital room, Dr. Jadek's voice resonated with a simple yet pivotal question. Was Benjamin ready to embark on a journey fraught with peril, yet shimmering with hope? Thus began an intricate dance of survival, where every painstaking move was a step toward freedom. Part 4. The Race Against Time. In a hospital stretched to its breaking point, Benjamin listened as Dr. Jadek and Sea Spray persuaded the medical staff to release him into their care. The direness of Benjamin's condition collided with the relentless threat of bombings, a storm of despair that shadowed even the sanctity of the hospital walls. Time was slipping through their fingers. The pivotal 48-hour window for crucial medical interventions was rapidly closing. As Rich and Sea Spray navigated the tangled web of the Ukrainian healthcare system, a secret hope flickered on the horizon, just out of reach, yet tantalizingly close. Rumors of a diplomatic train, a vessel of escape shrouded in security, whispered promises of a safe exodus. But the catch was as glaring as it was frustrating. They needed permission, and they needed it immediately. A gauntlet awaited the team, transporting Benjamin across a city in upheaval, through the maze of heightened security and onto the sanctity of the train. At the hospital, they united with Fox News's Jock, enveloping Benjamin in a gurney's embrace and easing him into the ambulance which would serve as a temporary ark amidst the chaos. With every tick of the clock, the city's arteries constricted further, a shoot-on-sight curfew adding tension to the already taut atmosphere. Sea Spray gambled on the hope that the diplomatic channels being prodded in Poland would yield access. With faith as their compass, they steered towards the station, the departure of the diplomatic train unknown yet eerily imminent. Efforts across continents converged in a symphony of urgency. Operatives brandished photos of innocent children to polish hearts at the diplomatic offices, while others smoothed the path through the labyrinth of military checkpoints. Each allowed passage for the ambulance bore the weight of a petite victory. As if guided by an invisible hand, they breezed through the train station with practiced calm, repeating the magic words, American and medical, as if they were a charm against adversity. The symphony reached its crescendo when, as if by divine timing, official permission graced their phones, aligning stars just as they reached the train. Hours turned into endless stretches without the solace of food or pain relief for Benjamin. Yet, amidst the blur of movement and whispered prayers, his singular request pierced the air, a phone, to bridge the miles with the sound of loved ones' voices. It was the salve for his spirit, the call connecting a battered father to the heartbeats of home. Part 5. The next leg of a perilous journey. The rhythmic clatter of the train's wheels became a bittersweet symphony as Benjamin Hall finally found transitory relief in its motion. Yet as the landscape blurred past, the warmth of his morning's pain medication dissolved into a distant memory, leaving him in stark confrontation with his affliction. On that rumbling chariot, the news of Pierre and Sasha's fate descended like a shroud, casting a pall over the triumph of his escape. Benjamin's ordeal was far from over as his battered body was gearing up for another marathon, a race for comprehensive care. The battle-scarred corridors of Poland became his interim shelter, their seasoned medics poised to bridge him to the vast medical knowledge that awaited beyond. For Benjamin, survival had metamorphosed into an odyssey of healing, with his next bastion in the meticulous hands of military clinicians. From Fox News's vantage, the pieces moved in a calculated sequence, a helicopter birthed from military resolve, destined to ferry Benjamin from the train's end to the gates of a Polish sanctuary. His reception there was merely a prelude to the specialized treatment that Landstuhl, Germany, held in store, a fortified center renowned for its prowess in patching back the warriors of modern-day battlefields. Barely 4 days since the explosion that mangled his life, Benjamin teetered on a precipice, each breath a bargain with fate. His burns held the nefarious potential of infection, and the remnants of his spared leg lay precariously, with shreds of hope entwined in its fragile remains. The specter of surgeries loomed large, each promising agony but whispering promises of a restored semblance of normalcy. Recovery was a horizon, distantly echoed beyond years, a mosaic of surgeries, rehabilitation, and adjustments to alien prosthetics. Each step ahead was a stride in relearning, mastering the act of walking and embracing the altered reality of his existence. Desperation's grip had receded, but left Benjamin on a path swathed in challenges, his ultimate goal to reclaim the vibrancy of life as a father and husband in a world forever altered. Part 6. Navigating the perilous skies to recovery. The sprawling expanse of the Brooke Army Medical Center in Texas shone as a beacon of hope for Benjamin Hall's extensive rehabilitation. Yet, standing between him and this bastion of healing was a daunting odyssey aboard a military C-17 cargo plane. The flight prescribed a sobering cost, enduring hours suspended in the air without the veil of pain medication, to keep his wits sharp and consciousness clear. With a grit born of necessity, Benjamin fortified his resolve, steeling himself against each throb and pang as he embarked on this airborne trial. The journey was torturous, but fueled by a singular determination to accelerate the lengthy convalescence predicted by his caretakers. Inspired by the legion of support from dedicated teammates to the intricate web of diplomats, military personnel, and medical champions, he threw himself into recovery with a zeal that defied expectations. Emerging from the ordeal with his spirits unbroken, Benjamin was buoyed by the sacrifices of those who couldn't share in his voyage. His journey of healing was a tribute etched in every progress and setback, every sting of a needle, and every triumph over the unyielding demands of physical therapy. His colleague's absence was a silent clarion call to make every moment count. Against the backdrop of predictions, mere calendar pages flipped before Benjamin, with a heart brimming with gratitude, bid farewell to the nurturing hands of the Brooke Army Medical Center. It had been just 5 months of intense healing, of rebuilding what war had tried to claim. Clutching onto the hope gifted by unparalleled medical expertise, Benjamin took his leave and soared once more, this time towards the welcoming embrace of home. His departure was a testament not only to his own indomitable spirit, but to the legacy of those who had flown to his preservation, ensuring his tale was one of survival inked with a promise of tomorrows. Final summary. In the whirlwind of war-torn Ukraine, the brush with death that Benjamin Hall and his news team faced was a stark reminder of life's fragility. Their vehicle, suddenly a casualty of conflict, marked the beginning of a fight for survival that would demand miracles and summon heroes. This battle to save Benjamin was not waged by him alone, but by a clandestine symphony of operatives, diplomatic negotiations, and military assistance, all underpinned by serendipity's grace. As Benjamin journeyed from precarious refuge to life-saving facilities, from the wrecks left by violence to the security of foreign lands, each step was laden with a stark realization of his providential escape. It was a path colored by resilience, relentless drive, and the unyielding will to endure. His return to the embrace of kin was not merely a testament to his personal strength, but a chorus of unseen voices and steadfast hands that defied the chaos, ensuring his story was one marked by a poignant triumph over travesty. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.